Charlie and Sarah stumbled upon an old album tucked away in the attic of their newly bought Victorian-era home. Dust swirled around them as they gingerly flipped through the pages, revealing sepia-tone memories of a bygone era. Amidst the faded photographs of strangers and forgotten landscapes, one particular picture caught their attention. It was a wedding photograph, unmistakably old-fashioned, with a sepulchral ambience that sent shivers down their spines. Charlie's heart skipped a beat as he recognized the bride and groom. It was them, but something was horribly wrong. They hadn't gotten married yet. Sarah's hand trembled as she pointed to a shadowy figure lurking in the background of the photograph. It was a tall, indistinct silhouette, its features obscured by darkness. Charlie felt a chill creeping up his spine, his mind racing with unanswered questions. As they scrutinized the eerie image, a sense of unease settled over them. How could this be possible? Was it some sort of elaborate prank? Or worse, was there something sinister at play in their new home? Determined to unravel the mystery behind the phantom wedding photograph, Charlie and Sarah delved into the history of their house. They discovered that it had once belonged to a prominent family in the town, but little else was known about its previous occupants. Night after night, they scoured old newspaper archives and pored over local history books, searching for any clue that could explain the bizarre photograph. But their efforts yielded no results, leaving them feeling more unsettled than ever. As days turned into weeks, strange occurrences began to plague their home. Muffled footsteps echoed in empty hallways, and doors creaked open on their own accord. Charlie and Sarah started to question their own sanity, wondering if the stress of moving had finally taken its toll on their minds. But deep down, they knew there was something malevolent lurking in the shadows of their home. And as they continued to investigate, they uncovered a dark secret that had been buried for generations. The truth, it seemed, was far more horrifying than they could have ever imagined. And as they stared into the abyss of their own past, they realized that some memories are best left forgotten. Haunted by the inexplicable events unfolding in their home, Charlie and Sarah sought solace in each other's company. But even their love couldn't dispel the growing sense of dread that hung over them like a suffocating shroud. Desperate for answers, they decided to seek out the only person who might be able to shed light on the mystery, the town's oldest resident, Mrs. Hawthorne. With her frail hands clasped tightly around a steaming cup of tea, Mrs. Hawthorne listened intently as they recounted their chilling tale. After a moment of contemplation, she began to speak in hushed tones, her voice quavering with age. She told them of a dark chapter in the town's history, a tale of betrayal and vengeance that had been all but forgotten. According to Mrs. Hawthorne, the shadowy figure in the photograph was none other than Samuel Blackwood, a reclusive figure rumored to have dabbled in the occult. Consumed by jealousy and bitterness, Samuel had cursed the house and all who dared to dwell within its walls. As Mrs. Hawthorne's words faded into the silence of the night, Charlie and Sarah were left with more questions than answers. But one thing was clear: if they were to break the curse and reclaim their lives, they would need to confront the darkness that lurked within. Armed with newfound resolve, they delved deeper into the secrets of the past, uncovering long-buried truths that threatened to tear their world apart. But with each revelation came a glimmer of hope, a beacon of light in the suffocating darkness. And as they stood on the threshold of their own destiny, Charlie and Sarah knew that they would face whatever horrors awaited them together. For in the end, love was the most powerful weapon against the forces of evil, and with love as their guide, they would conquer the shadows and emerge victorious, stronger than they had ever been before. With renewed determination, Charlie and Sarah embarked on a quest to break the curse that held their home captive. They scoured ancient tomes and consulted with experts on the occult, piecing together a plan to confront the malevolent spirit that haunted them. As they delved deeper into the darkness, they encountered obstacles at every turn. Strange phenomena intensified, testing their resolve and threatening to tear them apart. But through it all, they clung to each other, drawing strength from their love and unwavering determination. Finally, after weeks of tireless research and countless sleepless nights, they uncovered the key to breaking the curse, a ritual that required them to confront Samuel Blackwood's spirit head-on and banish him from their home for eternity. With trembling hands and hearts pounding with fear, Charlie and Sarah prepared to face their greatest challenge yet. Armed with ancient incantations and the power of their love, they entered the heart of darkness, ready to confront the demon that had plagued them for so long. As they stood face to face with Samuel Blackwood's spectral form, the air crackled with tension, and the very walls of their home seemed to tremble with anticipation. But Charlie and Sarah stood firm, their resolve unshakable as they unleashed the full force of their will upon the malevolent spirit. With a deafening roar, Samuel Blackwood's form began to dissipate, fading into nothingness as the curse was finally broken, and as the last echoes of his tortured soul faded into the aether, Charlie and Sarah knew that they had emerged victorious. With the curse lifted, peace returned to their home, and the darkness that had once threatened to consume them was banished forever. Bobby was a man of routines. Every morning, he'd wake up at precisely 6:30, sip his coffee while scanning the headlines, and then head to the gym for his morning workout. But one particular morning, something felt off. As Bobby stood in front of the bathroom mirror, toothbrush in hand, he noticed a subtle movement in his reflection. At first, he dismissed it as a trick of the light or a figment of his imagination. But as he continued to brush, he couldn't shake the feeling that his reflection wasn't quite mirroring his movements. He stared intently at the mirror, trying to discern any irregularities, and then he saw it, a slight twitch of his reflection's eye that didn't match his own. Panic seized him as he realized that his reflection was moving independently of him. Bobby stepped back, heart pounding in his chest. He watched in horror as his reflection smirked at him, its movements mocking and sinister. He tried to look away, but he was transfixed by the chilling sight. Frantically, Bobby splashed water on his face, hoping to snap out of whatever nightmare he'd stumbled into. But when he looked back up, his reflection was still there, still moving with a life of its own. With trembling hands, Bobby reached out to touch the mirror, half expecting his hand to pass through it. But the surface was solid and cold to the touch, trapping him in this terrifying reality. Desperate for answers, Bobby knew he had to confront whatever force was controlling his reflection. But as he braced himself to take action, he couldn't shake the feeling that he was only scratching the surface of a much darker truth. Bobby spent the next few days in a state of constant paranoia. Everywhere he went, his reflection followed, its movements growing more erratic and menacing with each passing hour. He couldn't escape the feeling that it was toying with him, biding its time before revealing its true intentions. Determined to unravel the mystery, Bobby delved into research, scouring the internet for any information that could explain his bizarre predicament. But the more he searched, the more confused he became. There were no scientific explanations, no supernatural theories that could account for what was happening to him. As the days stretched into weeks, Bobby's grip on reality began to slip. Sleep became elusive, haunted by nightmares of his malevolent reflection. He became withdrawn, paranoid that anyone he encountered could be somehow connected to his torment. But amidst the chaos, a glimmer of hope emerged. A cryptic message from an anonymous source, hinting at a hidden truth behind Bobby's ordeal. It spoke of a cursed artifact, a mirror with the power to trap souls and twist reality to its whim. Armed with this newfound knowledge, Bobby embarked on a perilous journey to uncover the mirror's origins and put an end to its reign of terror. But with each step closer to the truth, he risked losing himself to the darkness that lurked within the mirror's depths. As Bobby delved deeper into the mirror's secrets, he realized that his own reflection was merely a pawn in a much larger game. A game where the stakes were not just his own soul, but the fate of the world itself. And as he stood face to face with the mirror's true master, Bobby knew that the only way to break free from its grasp was to confront the darkness within himself and embrace the light that still flickered within. For only then could he hope to shatter the mirror's hold and reclaim his own reflection once and for all. Armed with newfound resolve, Bobby embarked on a treacherous journey to confront the darkness that lurked within the cursed mirror. His path led him to forgotten corners of the world, where ancient whispers spoke of unspeakable horrors and forbidden knowledge. Guided by the cryptic message and fueled by a desperate need for redemption, Bobby delved deeper into the mysteries surrounding the mirror. Each clue he uncovered brought him closer to the truth, but also closer to the brink of madness. Haunted by visions of his malevolent reflection, Bobby struggled to maintain his grip on reality. The line between friend and foe blurred as paranoia gnawed at his sanity, threatening to consume him from within. But even in the darkest of moments, a glimmer of hope remained. Buried within the depths of his soul, a flicker of light burned bright, urging him forward in his quest for salvation. As Bobby ventured deeper into the heart of darkness, he encountered obstacles beyond his wildest nightmares. Shadows whispered of ancient evils, and twisted apparitions sought to lure him into the abyss. But through sheer force of will, Bobby pressed on, driven by a determination to break the curse that bound him to the mirror's sinister embrace. With each step, he grew stronger, his resolve unyielding in the face of unspeakable horrors. And then, at long last, he stood before the mirror's true master, a malevolent entity of unimaginable power, its form shifting and contorting with every passing moment. With trembling hands, Bobby reached out, a surge of primal fear coursing through his veins. But as his fingers brushed against the cold, reflective surface, he felt something stir within him, a force more powerful than any darkness that sought to consume him. Drawing upon the light that still burned within, Bobby unleashed a torrent of raw energy, shattering the mirror's hold and banishing the malevolent entity back to the depths from whence it came. As the echoes of his victory faded into the ether, Bobby gazed upon his reflection once more, his eyes shining with a newfound clarity. And in that moment, he knew that he had conquered not just the darkness within the mirror, but the darkness within himself. With the curse lifted and the darkness vanquished, Bobby emerged from the depths of his ordeal a changed man. The weight that had burdened his soul for so long lifted, replaced by a newfound sense of purpose and resolve. No longer haunted by the specter of his malevolent reflection, Bobby found solace in the simple joys of life. The warmth of the sun on his face, the laughter of loved ones, and the beauty of a world once shrouded in darkness. But amidst the peace and tranquility, a lingering question remained. What had truly transpired within the depths of the cursed mirror? Though the darkness had been banished, its origins remained shrouded in mystery. Determined to uncover the truth, Bobby embarked on a journey of introspection and self-discovery. With each passing day, he delved deeper into the recesses of his own mind, seeking answers to questions long buried beneath layers of doubt and fear. And as he confronted the demons of his past and embraced the light that burned within, Bobby found redemption in the most unlikely of places, within himself. With a newfound sense of clarity and purpose, Bobby vowed to use his experiences to help others who may find themselves ensnared by the darkness that had once threatened to consume him. Armed with empathy and understanding, he reached out to those in need, offering solace and guidance to those who had lost their way. And in doing so, he found healing not just for himself, but for others as well. As the years passed, Bobby's journey took him to far-off lands and distant shores, each step a testament to the strength of the human spirit and the power of redemption. And though the memories of his ordeal would always linger in the recesses of his mind, Bobby knew that he had emerged from the darkness stronger, wiser, and more determined than ever before. For in the end, it was not the darkness that defined him, but the light that burned within. A light that would guide him on his journey long after the shadows had faded into memory.